recruiting. After all, I mean, probably the most famous team in the history of Olympic Miracle on Ice team. When you think about hockey where it stands with the other sports in this country, but that 1980 Olympic team, man, catch that fire. It's Team USA tomorrow in the semifinals. Got the NHL players playing. What more could you ask for? It's Friday afternoon. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit colder, which is fine. You go inside and watch some hockey.
Man, I got to say, I just happened to have caught that game, but I feel like they haven't done a very good job of marketing this Olympics. Like a lot of the stuff I'm just happening to catch because I'm going out of my way. But
well, today's game was on USA Network. It wasn't even on like NBC. Now they'll probably show some of it tonight, I would think, in the Olympics primetime with Tarico. I have no idea what their scheduling is, but you would think it would be part of it.
I hope so. But yeah, I mean, I just happen to have tuned into some of this stuff. I haven't heard a peep really.
Well, doing stuff at night, you just check up on and say, all right, where's it going to be? It's going to be on USA. And then tomorrow, probably go to I'll definitely be watching Team USA, the men's going. And if they win, hopefully they win, they'll play on Sunday in the gold medal match. But, you don't get sad after this because the World Baseball Classic's going to be starting here soon too. And those rosters are loaded, man. I mean, every country in that thing is loaded. Team USA's roster, ridiculous how good it is, man. Top to bottom, you got Bobby Witt Jr. in there. Just kind of a role player last time. He's a starter for Team USA this time. It's going to be a ton of fun. I love the World Baseball Classic. I think that's a lot of fun. Those rosters are freaking loaded, but that's the best of the best playing. And then all of a sudden you have the World Cup in Kansas City as well. So again, yes, we had football taking us through to the Super Bowl. Then we get the Combine next week. Then you get free agency in the NFL, which is an animal amongst itself. Legal tampering the 9th through 11th, which is essentially all-out free agency. League year starts the 11th. You get the draft at the end of April. We have these team events to occupy us. And then, of course, we have Major League Baseball starting. So sports, man, it is always here. It's always drama. You got the Masters coming up this spring. I mean, there's just so many good sporting events going on right now. So I don't want to hear it's the sports abyss right now because it's really not. It's not at all.
No, well, there's a lot of things to, at least for this year, to look forward to. And I do have to say, as much as I loved all of these late postseason runs, it was a little bit nice this year. Again, this is maybe silver lining of having a break, a little bit of a break from the sports calendar between football and baseball season, because normally we're just full steam ahead right into baseball season. So
it hardly seems like you have a break. It seems like you go from the Super Bowl,
and
then the parade, and then you go straight into the Combine. Well, I know the scouts and everything work on the Combine and this stuff, but now the coaching
March
staff
Madness, you forgot about that.
Oh, the March Madness. I mean, there's so much, man. There's just so much.
Big
so
12
many
tourney.
sports here for us.
Yeah, it's I love it. I
can't wait for the regular baseball season to start too, but you have 4 World Cup teams going to make the Kansas City area their home base. There was rumors about all that before, but it was made official today when Algeria is going to go to Lawrence. So KCK is where you're going to have Argentina.
Solid.
And then basically within, 20, 25 minutes, you're going to have the Netherlands down at the KC Current facility.
Yeah, man.
I mean, those two teams are literally 15, 20 minutes apart.
World powers, man.
And then Swope Park, you have the defending champions. Or no, England. England, Swope Park, Argentina defending champions. They're at KCK.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be here for a month.
We're loaded around here.
Be spending money, build the economy for a month, man. All these bars just going to be inundated. It's going to be crazy.
I'm gonna
Kansas
try
City's
and
going to be crazy.
I'm gonna try and make it to this. I'm gonna try and make it to at least one game, but man, those prices are just they're no.
You get a
no
mortgage
joke.
your house.
Yeah, the better teams that we have now that we know who's going to be here, and again, doesn't mean they're necessarily their games will be here. But man, those tickets are just.
I mean, you could cover them. I mean, technically, when you first started here, you did a lot of soccer or sporting. You spent some time in the press box. You went in Osero.
I'm gonna see if we can pull maybe a couple of those strings.
You and Chris, you should go cover it.
I like it.
You got Rob Britton doing the podcast with Scott Parks, on the World Cup.
But I believe they are covering just the World Cup as Kansas City hosting the World Cup, not necessarily it's soccer. It is soccer specific, but it's not dedicated to just the sport of soccer. It's just the host city and kind of what we're doing and how things are going in Kansas City and how we interact with.
But there's no absolutely zero abyss.
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
There's so many good world events, between hockey and Team USA, the World Baseball Classic, and then the World Cup. It's so much fun. And the text line pointing out 913, Disc Golf Pro Tour coming to Kansas City. Now, this is interesting here. That's the 24th to 26th. Believe it or not, Jacob Mustard, he was producing here. He did a lot. He was with me a lot on Sundays. Yeah. And Jacob loves.
I'm a big fan.
Mac Morey does
quite
too.
A bit.
Mac, do you play?
Yeah.
You play disc golf?
I haven't. It's been a couple years, but
do you have like the driver and putter and all that?
I do. I have a full set. So I didn't know that was going to be a thing here, so I might have to now go check that out.
There's a bunch of guys here that do it. I mean, Jacob plays. Mac Morey plays all the time.
Yeah.
Now you do as well. You need to tell Mac.
I didn't know Mac played, so me and him are going to have to connect now.
I think he goes and plays all the time.
I love it.
But you know what's funny is we'll talk about it because I'll talk about with Jacob and stuff because he keeps active on this. And every time we talk about it, I'm not kidding you, there's at least 20, 25 texts on disc golf. I mean,
we have some great courses here, man. We really do. I mean, I've gone on a couple vacations, like up in Colorado, and done some of their courses, and a couple in New Mexico. So I've even traveled to do some of that. But we actually do have. It's a big scene here. It's bigger than you would think, and we have some fantastic.
Evidently, because
here.
the text line blows up every time I bring it up.
100%.
I mean, there's a couple good things going for it. First of all, it's a lot of fun if you go there and play. Two, it's free.
Yeah,
you're not paying any money. Yeah, you got to buy the disc because you can't just go out there and play with the Frisbee. They're obviously weighted for your driver and your putter and everything else, but you can't beat free, Julio. You can't beat free. I don't know if there's charging in some of the places now. I don't think so.
No.
Even if they were, it's very nominal.
Nope, they're all free here, and I'll tell you what, it's much cheaper than real golf. And for my money, I prefer disc golf over real golf. So.
Well, a lot of people do play. Look, they're just talking about it now. There's at least 10 or 15 texts.
I love it.
On it. I mean, it's one of those hobbies that, hey, you go out and do your sports hobbies. That's great. That's great that you have a hobby. And if it's golf and you go out and play golf, like Dustman was out there playing today. He broke one of his irons, though. He tweeted out a picture of it. It's like, oh, man, Dusty, who knows how much that thing cost, but he broke one of his irons. But what I'm saying is the sports are here. And watching Team USA women win that gold, that was fun.
I love it.
And, of course, tomorrow there's going to be beer flowing watching Team USA in the semifinals. And it's funny. It's not funny, but it's fun seeing how excited everybody gets. I mean, it's a rallying thing to sit there and watch these sports. I mean, it's fun to watch. Whether you sit down and watch the Olympics, my problem is with the Olympics having the time difference, it can be good or bad. With 7-hour difference, it can be good or bad. The good is you can sit there in the afternoon and watch the stuff live. So you know all the answers by the time it gets to the night whenever they have Tariq on there.
I know, and that kind of takes some of the luster away for me, if I'm being honest.
But that's the way it's been. That's the way as a sports fan you are because you get the highlights. It's like you used to sit and watch Chris Berman and Tom Jackson after the NFL every weekend, right? Because they would show you the highlights of the game. But now you're sitting there watching the Chiefs game. Your ex is blowing up, and you're getting highlights of great catches that Puka made, for the Rams or whatever. You're seeing all this stuff in advance, and then by the end, you're just kind of looking for the analysis of the game instead of the highlights because you've already seen them right there in the phone. So consuming sports has changed, but it is fun when the stuff is live. Like when the Summer Olympics are going to be in Los Angeles in 28, that's going to be fun because it's going to be live. It's going to be live events there for us. So.
I love it.
But it's how you consume it. I'll sit there and I'll have it on all night. And just be sitting there in the background and fall asleep to it. I'll watch the Olympics all night. I'm going to miss it, man. You flip between USA and Peacock and NBC. I like watching people win. Great stories like the comeback stories. The people, like Michaela Schifrin that hadn't won in 12 years, and she goes out there and keeps to it, doesn't quit on it, goes out there and keeps going and wins the gold. But this hockey story, man, has been incredible.
We've also had some controversies. That's been pretty entertaining. Yep, that's been pretty entertaining, which I am on the side of they were cheating. Those Canadians were cheating.
Yeah,
not as innocent as they come off.
See, that's one sport I think you applied yourself to.
Double touch.
Like you and I could go to Snow Creek, and we would fall on our ass just trying to do like one flip or spin or something like that. Forget that. Downhill ain't happening.
No, that is frightening to me.
Speed skating.
Yeah, that's frightening to me.
Speed skating ain't going to work. I can't even get on ice with skates. Curling? Yeah,
that's my
you
jam,
maybe be that guy, throwing the stone or taking that broom up and down with it. I mean, that's something that you can actually, I talked about it last night. If you can drink beer during the sport, like that is a sport you could actually drink beer and play.
Why do you think I'm a disc golf?
Perfect.
Why not?
Perfect. That's the one sport
Do
if you
all
apply
kinds
yourself
of
to.
things,
You might be able to do it. But the rest of the stuff, I have no idea. But there they are, Julio. There's probably 25, 30 texts on disc golf. I'm telling you. You mentioned that. You mentioned Mahomes. We have 5 or 6. You mentioned disc golf. We got 15 or 20. It's crazy. Coming up tonight, though, it's going to be fun. We have Lance Zierlein live. It's really weird to have a live interview at 8:30, but it is what it is.
You've been trying to get him on for quite a while, It's
NFL Network, we deal with NFL Network and their PR guys there about bringing analysts on and stuff. I haven't been interested in any of them. I'm interested in their draft guys. And Lance writes all the bios. If you ever go look at the combine, whenever they have the combine, you look at combine profiles where they'll put their 40 speed, their vertical, and everything else. The bio is written by Lance. Strengths, weaknesses, that kind of thing. So he's basically in charge of it over the 300 people that are invited to the combine. Lance writes a bio on each and every one of them. So I am curious where they sit as far as the Chiefs' current situation at the wide receiver position and the seismic shift we've started to see in mock drafts, which I've told you, man, mock draft alerts, it's been heavy running back. Well, there's a new sheriff in town. There's a new position that people are looking for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll bring that up later. But Lance Zierlein coming on at 8:30. But Nate Taylor, who covers the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, for ESPN and stuff here at all over on 96.5. The Fan was on today, and there's some cuts from Nate Taylor speaking about the situation the Chiefs have at wide receiver and where they might look in the draft and how things, they've changed. We'll do that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well,
I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
With Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter, get a new furnace absolutely free with the purchase of select HVAC systems. The pros at Hamilton make upgrading easy with flexible financing, expert installation, and energy-efficient options that can help lower your monthly energy bills. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
we can be twinsies
to
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again. So call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Kansas City, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch all your favorite shows right from your phone, computer, or tablet. Every day, we stream the shows live on YouTube, plus clips from the biggest moments and biggest guests. Hit that subscribe button so 96.5 The Fan goes right to the top of your feed. In your car, on your phone, or on your computer, we are everywhere. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back, Julio Sanchez, producing the operation. Much appreciated, Julio. As always on a Thursday, Jay Binkley with you now. Text line likes Denzel Boston. Any way the Chiefs can trade back and get Denzel. Denzel's intriguing. I like Denzel Boston a lot. And there's no guarantee the receivers drafted ahead of Denzel Boston or Kevin Concepcion or Zachariah Branch, or there's no guarantee the ones drafted earlier will be better. That's how the draft works. Just because they're slotted a certain way and people are talking about them doesn't mean they're going to end up being the best players. I mean, I look back with everybody talking about Kyle Hamilton because of Caleb Downs and the comparison with safeties. That 22 draft, he went 14th. I mean, he and Nate Hutchinson, the only good players in that first round, and at least great players. I would take Kyle Hamilton probably over Aiden at this point. Both of them are great, but all the different things Kyle Hamilton can do. But we'll talk about that about 7:30, and we'll get into a lot of the mock who's with Lance Zierlein.
When's by the way, when's the next drop for the mock?
Well, we haven't 100%. We're going to wait till after the combine. I think that's only fair to do. I mean, you can have guesswork on who looks good, and we've done it during the season and through the season, but when you get there and they measure you, you do the vertical, you do the 40s, you do things like that, things change a little bit.
We'll see who the workout warriors are, you know?
Well, I don't think necessarily you compare that to what their skill sets were. You just don't enamored by the speed and what they can do. I know that a lot of people thought the Chiefs drafted Xavier Worthy because he broke the John Ross's speed record in the 40, which, believe it or not, Tyquan Thornton actually beat that record too, but they went back and reviewed the film and gave him like a 4.29.
Almost, yep, almost.
But for a good 15, 20 minutes or something, Tyquan Thornton thought he was the fastest man in the NFL back when he went through the combine. But Xavier Worthy had a lot more to it than that. And you're glad that they went with more than that because he did lead Texas in yards and receptions for 3 straight years. In 2 of those 3 years, he led them in touchdowns. And the year he didn't, he was second. So it's not like he wasn't there. But Lance Zierlein, 319 profiles he's got to do. I don't think he's quite done them all either. I'm kind of curious where he sits on doing 319 profiles for that. But Nate Taylor was on. Of course, Nate is dialed in. We had a little bit of fun with audio, Julio, last night with Jason McIntyre saying that
he's the worst.
Yeah, he wanted to get Evans because, he's a noted Chiefs hater, but he's talking about how Evans hadn't sniffed the Super Bowl, had never got one, and needs to get one. and then Colin Cowherd's like agreeing with them. It's like, no, and then people are clowning him because he's won a Super Bowl. Said, take what they say with a grain of salt. Take some that Nate says, who's with the team. Hell, Nate even went to Brazil with the team. He covers them everywhere that they go, every practice they're at in St. Joe and whatever. Take their advice over people that are there. This is what he has to say about Rashee Rice and his current situation with the news yesterday, of course, with Rashee Rice out there with that civil suit. What do the Chiefs need to worry about with that situation?
The NFL doesn't necessarily need to let the legal process play out. I know they've preferred to do that recently, but no matter where this sort of civil lawsuit goes, like there is the allegation of photographic evidence where you are alleged to have abused the mother of your two children. You're basically a second offender of the personal conduct policy. So the shortest conclusion to all this I can say is he's probably going to get suspended again. And from a, moving forward past 2026, it's really hard to suggest like the Chiefs, and I'm not the first person to say this, that the Chiefs are going to, even maybe get a 17-game season of Rashee Rice, let alone have any conclusion like he's, viable to give an extension based on, just how turbulent his career has been so far off the field.
Yeah, and who knows, how that thing ends up. Also, who knows what the NFL does, to be honest with you. Who knows what the NFL does? That's beside the point. Let the legal system handle that. I'm just looking at this from a football perspective for the Chiefs. You don't know what you have. Like, you're clamoring to get those 17 games, or at least rest him on game 17 and not play. Because he had the 6 games this year he suspended. He had 2 at the end of the year that he was out with a concussion. So he missed 8 games this year. That's the thing. The availability becomes pretty big when it becomes certain players. Are you available for this team at different times? Like he was going through with Darren Peterson, right? Is he there or not?
That's a whole other situation.
Well, I'm just saying it is a different situation, but availability is what it comes down to. Nothing else. Availability comes down to it. Here's what Nate says about what it means for the draft for the Kansas City Chiefs.
They have to address receiver at some point. And again, I don't know how much of that will be, a thing that you're going to see in free agency, especially early on, right? I still think there are more capable contributors in free agency at the running back, at the defensive line sort of area of the roster. But I'd be a little bit surprised if Cornell Tate is available at 9, but if he's available at 9, you kind of run to the podium and you sprint, right? There's Lemon as well available from USC. We'll see how many of those, top 8 teams ahead of the Chiefs are receiver needy. And I can argue none of them are as receiver needy as the Chiefs right now. But you have to approach this in the sense that we got to put around a collection of pass catchers in front of Patrick Mahomes that can ease him back into, getting through this injury. And again, Travis Kelce's going to be 37. Like, again, I anticipate as of right now he's going to return to the team. But if you want to take a receiver in the second round or the first round, or if you want to make some trade to get even more picks, a la the Tyreek Hill silver situation of 2022, I have no arguments now because Rashee Rice is not a guarantee really at any point in 2026.
See, that's what it boils down to. Forget the legal stuff. We're not in there. We don't have the record. His lawyer released a statement that, that she had put out a statement and swore under oath or whatever. He said, she said type stuff. But again, it's not about that. It's about availability. Are you able to play?
Well,
I think that's what it comes down to. That is not my job to do, or anybody's besides the people there in the courtroom to decide innocence or guilt.
Yeah, and that availability, right, is both injury related and off the field issue related.
Yeah, I think it's hand in hand. I think you can look at injuries and you can look at off the field. The bottom line is, are you playing it or not? But you heard there, receiver. I've been on team receiver the whole time, and it's not just because of the Rashee Rice situation. Clearly, not having a receiver all the time, I feel, garnered more than just the 4th-round pick on a receiver last year. They banked a lot on Jalen Rose. They were going to have a receiver, and they knew Rice was going to be suspended. This wasn't a mystery to anybody. They knew it. They knew he was going to be suspended. I mean, he pled guilty for it. So, of course, that part, he's going to be suspended. The NFL, not going to mess around. They're going to do it. And then all of a sudden, Xavier Worthy gets hurt. But then you're banking on guys that are undersized staying healthy. And clearly, when Travis Kelce ran into him in Brazil on play 3, he was out for 3 games. So now you're down him and Rice, and you say, okay, well, this is where you need Jalen Reynolds to step up. And he had that knee tendonitis and stuff he was dealing with in training camp, so I don't think he was 100% ready to go at that point. He wasn't on IR, though. So he wasn't on IR. But even towards the end of the year when he's perfectly fine, he got out there, but he didn't do anything.
Yeah, but the problem now, too, is, right, you shouldn't have to be relying on a 4th-round wide receiver, the back end of the 4th-round wide receiver, to be a mainstay in your wide receiving core. Like, you shouldn't have to, that shouldn't be a thing.
No, you shouldn't have to wait on that whatsoever. But the bottom line is they need somebody to catch the ball. And I know there's been this hard push. You hear it from everybody. Get Bain, get Bailey, get a defensive end. I understand. They need that.
Well,
but if they go out and get a Bradley Chubb or somebody that's been in the league for a while, they spend a little money, $11, $12 million on a Bradley Chubb who's been there and done that, and you know what you're going to get from it, then maybe you can 100% spend the pick on pick 9. But I mean, Mahomes does have to have somebody to throw to.
Well,
there is that.
That's especially a problem going into this next year, right? From the aspect of you don't have much depth on the wide receiving core. Your tight end room is just Travis Kelce, an aging Travis Kelce, who should not be getting 100 targets going into this next year, right? And a running back room who's can't catch anything out of the backfield and has no burst or no. What are they going to do, man? Like, the passing game itself is just, and the running game itself, but
I mean, that's a strength of
it's
your
a lot
team.
of problems to have on the offensive side of the ball.
I've always said, with average quarterbacks, you build up the defense.
Yep.
With great quarterbacks or elite quarterbacks, you give them weapons to succeed. That's the best part of your team. I doubt in anybody's lifetime you're ever going to have a quarterback as good as Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I would say it's a pretty good bet that you're not. So give him the players to throw to, not the Tyquan Thorntons, nothing against Tyquan, or the Justin Watsons back in the day. Give him something else to throw to. And I'm shocked that more and more people, when that was one of the biggest gripes last season, right? Can't beat man coverage, receivers drop the football, and they're never available to play. Those 3 things were echoed all the time. All the time. And yet, we almost forget about it. Not saying these receivers are great either. I mean, that's the one thing about it, because you're going to be relying on them heavily. But here's the thing. They had to rely on Xavier Worthy. So now your question is this guy better than Xavier Worthy? Because Xavier Worthy's rookie year, when Rice gets hurt week 4, Hollywood Brown gets hurt in the first preseason game against Jacksonville, he had to step up and be the dude. He had 59 catches, wasn't quite ready, I don't think, to be that number 1 guy, but he had to be it. Like, he had to be that dude. So they have done it. I mean, he didn't probably produce the yardage that you want for that, but he had to do it. And as far as Kelce, yeah, we think he's coming back. Looks like he is. But nothing's been signed on that either.
That's correct.
He's still a free agent.
That's 100% accurate. Yep.
So, and I don't think you want to really bank on that guy. And then you have like Mike Tannenbaum on ESPN, the former Jets GM, saying, well, he should go ahead and retire. Well, he did lead the Chiefs in yardage the last 2 years.
Silly.
And here's the thing. Let's say for some he didn't come back. I think he will. I think he does.
I think he will.
But let's say he doesn't. And then all of a sudden something happens with Rice. And then what are you going to do? Noah Gray? Noah Gray had a problem with the drops last year.
They need to sign that Isaiah Likely.
Yeah,
free
Isaiah
agent
Likely,
is looking
Kyle Pitts.
better and better.
You're going to have to do something like that. You're going to have to get somebody kind of.
You're going to have to sign some kind of veteran.
I agree. That's what they should do. But the problem is, too, is if you go out there and venture on the Alec Pierces of the world, you're going to be spending $25 million.
Yeah,
Hell, Juwan Jennings probably $22 million.
Yeah,
but you're paying that wide receiver tax on these receivers getting that second contract. I always felt you should just draft those guys, use them. If you feel like signing them, going
but
forward.
They have drafted. They have tried to draft those guys. It's just not panned out. I mean, they have used a lot of resources on this wide receiver room. It's just not.
It depends. It depends.
Not
on what
as many
say.
darts thrown as you would like.
No.
But they have used a lot of high draft capital for that room.
Well, I mean, Sky Moore and Rashee Rice are both second rounders. That's not exactly high draft capital. In back of the second round, too, because of where they were picking. The first rounder was Worthy, but it was the end of the first round. It's not a top 10 pick. it's not elite talent. They haven't been able to draft anybody that high except for Patrick Mahomes. That was the last time they drafted in the top 10.
Yeah, but to be fair, there's wide receiver is also a position where plenty of playmakers in the wide receiver position have been drafted outside of that first round.
And we'll talk to Lance about that because I think it's a good question. What does he feel? Because a lot of people, study the positions, and if the draft will say, we'll talk about the second wave of edge rushers. It could be a situation where the second wave of edge rushers are better than the first wave.
Yeah.
What's better, the second wave of receivers or the first? I think that helps you make your decision what you're going to do at 9. Where you feel at pick 40, you can get somebody tangible because they have 6 picks. So it's not exactly they're going to be trading and moving around. And then you keep hearing the Trent McDuffie, trade proposals for the Rams, to get a first-round pick. Well, the Rams are picking 29th. So if you want a pick at 29th, which is almost not even in the first round, it's at the very end, and essentially that's a second-round pick as it is anyway because first-round grades, people only have 12 to 18 on them. So that's not exactly a high first-round pick if you were to get rid of Trent McDuffie, which you do need. When I keep hearing, hey, got to make this defense great, got to make this defense great, got to build it up, build it up, build it up. Well, now you want to trade Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, but if you get that 29th pick and then you maybe another third or fourth rounder ish.
Unless you want to end of the first round guy like FAU.
Yeah, let's not go there.
I mean,
let's not go
never
there.
what you get. But we have Lance Zierlein coming on an hour from now, about 8:30. But the mock draft trends, Julio, I like doing this. I have 20 fresh ones. And guess what? There's a new position that's actually outshining the running back. Because every time I've done this, it's been heavily loaded towards the running back and Jeremiah Love. Well, there's a new position now with the latest news that came out. We'll do that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
QC Kinetics helps active people stay active. People like David Boardman, police officer, competitive athlete, and gym owner who trains hard almost every day.
My body's taken a lot of abuse over the years. I've had multiple knee surgeries on both of my knees. I could barely run a mile prior to going to QC Kinetics. Doctors have all told me, hey, you are going to need knee replacements.
But QC Kinetics gave David great news.
We're going to give you the opportunity to have not one, but 2 healthy knees, and we don't have to cut you open.
And after David's regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics?
Since I've gone to them, I run 20, 30 miles a week. I really wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for QC Kinetics.
From knee pain to Ironman training.
It's a no-brainer.
Now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics to book your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Welcome back. Jay Binkley, Julio Sanchez producing the operation. Our phone number 913-586-7965. Also, the Jay Southland Tow Service text line 913-586-7965 from the 660. Mahomes doesn't have bad weapons.
They're not great.
Not
great.
611 yards led the Chiefs in rushing this year. Kareem Hunt. Isaiah Pacheco, 462 in 13 games. Travis Kelce led receivers with 851. Second on the team was Hollywood Brown with 587. They even had a 1,000-yard receiver in 4 seasons.
Yeah.
It's not exactly flowing with weapons. Yeah, they've been able to do the best with it. They've gotten to the Super Bowl. They've won Super Bowls with it. But let's not get crazy here. 2025, still Mahomes threw for 3,500 yards, but didn't have anybody. You go the year before, Kareem Hunt led the way with 728 yards, but a whopping 3.6 yards a carry. Leading receivers on the team were Travis Kelce with 823 and Xavier Worthy, 638, followed by Noah Gray. Noah Gray was third with 437.
It sure didn't feel like it. Noah Gray
That doesn't scream weapons to me.
Right?
That doesn't scream weapons to me. Does that scream weapons to you?
And no.
Not having a 1,000-yard receiver, not having anybody sniffing one within 170 yards of getting 1,000 yards in a 17-game season.
Did those offensive weapons pass the eye test for you this last season?
No.
Because it did not for me.
They need weapons. Yeah. They need weapons. Yes, I know you can get receivers in different rounds, but if you're going to get them in different rounds, yes, they are there. And as they point out, the Puka was a 5th-round pick. He was the 4th fifth-round pick of the Rams, believe it or not. I mean, time in the rough. Juwan Jennings, it's going to command over $20 million in free agency here, was a 7th-round pick. So, yes, it does happen, but you got to be good. Like, you got to be good to get those guys in other rounds. Because if not, they would go a lot higher. Trust me, because everybody's looking at them. Every team's looking and look at the combine, look at their game film from the year before. Yes, guys go through the crack. That does happen. Brock Purdy baited through the cracks and went to the 7th round when everybody's looking for a quarterback. He goes last pick. It does happen, but you got to be good.
Well, let me ask you this. And this is something I've kind of thought through the last few years. And is it really a fundamental issue with maybe the system that it's just not built to develop wide receivers? I mean, they have
just never really been good at that position outside of Tyreek Hill.
They struck gold with Tyreek Hill, but
going back to Otis Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of proof in the pudding when it comes to.
Well, they haven't had good quarterback play either. Like, that's been a problem. But they spread it around so much. That's one thing they do is they do spread it around a lot. That's one thing.
Well, that's what I mean. Then is it an offensive system type philosophical issue?
Well, it worked except the last couple of years. 2 years ago, they obviously made the Super Bowl, lost to the Eagles, Julio. But, man, there was a lot of weird things that happened in the games, right? Block kicks, doinkers going through the uprights. I mean,
a lot of balls bouncing our way.
There was a lot of balls bouncing your way, and they didn't bounce your way this year. They bounced the way for the Denver Broncos, but you can't always count on that. But, yeah, they need weapons. It's time, man. They've loaded up heavily on defense. They've drafted a lot of defense, and that's great. I mean, you got to be able to get to the quarterback. But I'll say this. They've also been second in the NFL with 2 of those Super Bowl wins. They were number 2 in the NFL in quarterback sacks. But they did it without elite pass rushers. They did it from guys from the interior like Chris Jones, They did it blitzing, a timely blitz by Nick Bolton, inside linebacker. Leo Chenal, off-ball linebacker, coming in and doing it. They did it with safety blitzes or corner blitzes. They found a way to manufacture themselves to be second in the NFL in sacks. So they have done it.
So
without elite pass rushers.
Can I play devil's advocate here in that, like, over this dynastic run here, over these last 7-8 years, they've done it more times as far as getting to the Super Bowl, winning Super Bowls with an elite defense as opposed to an elite offense. It can almost be the opposite of what you were saying, where with a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, you can do more with less, right?
The first
so you
one
load
was
up
different.
on the defense. The first one was, but other than that first one, right? It's been, let's build that defense, let's make it an elite defense, and then we can kind of backfill on the offensive end, and Patrick Mahomes will make those players better.
You know what? You've been able
the approach that they take going forward again. The problem with last year was the offense wasn't great, but the defense wasn't elite again, as it has been in past seasons.
Well, it depends on what you consider elite. They are the only top 10 team in the top 10 defenses. They were sixth in the NFL in scoring defense. That's very
when
good.
It counted. Right,
exactly. But they're the only team in the top 10.
I wouldn't say they were elite last year. They were a good defense.
They were on fourth down.
They were not
third
elite.
Down. Yeah, they were worn out. They were out there quite a bit. But on fourth down, they were turning the ball over record pace.
Just playing devil's advocate here.
6 of 23 was the conversion rate against the Chiefs defense on fourth down. That means the offense was put out there more, but they were 21st in points per game. The 2 years previously, 15th and 15th in points per game. Yes, that 19 team was crazy. They were moving the ball all around. They were crazy good.
I mean, look at this year's playoff run with teams involved, as well as who won the Super Bowl. The majority of those teams were defensive heavy teams. Those were all top 10 defenses. They were all, for the most part, elite defenses for those that made deeper runs. Is the landscape of the NFL now morphing back towards more of the defensive side of the ball as opposed to the offensive side that we thought was the case?
My counter to that, Julio, would be
I'm just asking the question.
They were good. Oh, I get it. That's a good question. That's a great question because a lot of people bring it up. I would say, did you know their offense and defense were all in the top 4? Both of them. Both teams made the Super Bowl. The Patriots, believe it or not, were the second highest scoring team in the NFL, 28.8 points a game. The Seahawks were the third leading offense in the NFL, 28.4 points a game.
Still have to be balanced. Don't get me wrong.
No, they were. They were top 4 in offense and defense.
Yeah.
Their defense showed out, but their total defense, they were 6th. They were 1 in scoring defense. But I'll say this, they needed both to be good because the NFC title game, that defense, that vaunted defense of the Seahawks almost gave up 500 yards to the Rams. They were terrible. Terrible against the Rams. Stafford threw for 374, 3 touchdowns. They did whatever they wanted to against that Seahawks defense, almost giving up 500 yards. JSN was the biggest target, 10 for 153 and a touchdown. But when they got to the Super Bowl, obviously they had to rely on that defense, which the Patriots' offensive line was playing like crap. And I'll say this, too. Did you know the Patriots tied the Chiefs in sacks last year? They were 22nd in the NFL with 35 sacks. Chiefs had 35 sacks.
Well, and I think, right, it's not only being a balance of offense-defense, it's also being balanced on the offensive side of the ball, right? Not only did Seattle win this year because of their defense, especially in the Super Bowl, it was also because of the run game, right? They leaned heavily in that particular game on their run game. So it's a balancing act on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball as a whole, as well as having a balanced offense strictly on the offensive side of the ball.
No, I agree
and
with you.
defensive side of the ball.
I agree with you, but I think you have to look at things
balanced all
differently
around.
when you have an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
I think things change.
Well, it covers a lot of those, right? The ugliness.
If you have an average quarterback, you better have a good defense.
Correct.
You better have a great defense if that's the case.
Better have a good run game.
But I'll say this. When the Chiefs won the Super Bowl against the Niners that one year, remember that they were 15th in points per game. But in the postseason, they beat the number 1 scoring defense. Baltimore was number 1, 16.5 points a game. The number 3 scoring defense, San Francisco, in the Super Bowl, they 17.5 points a game. And the number 4 scoring defense, the Buffalo Bills, 18.3. So they beat number 1, 3, and 4 scoring defenses with an offense that scored 15th in the NFL in points per game. The only reason they didn't have 2, because that was them. That was the Chiefs. So they turned it on at the right time.
They had the elite defense, but they had the quarterback to put them over the top.
And as far as getting weapons, I think things changed a little bit when your quarterback's coming off an ACL.
Yeah.
And he's now in his 30s. I mean, this isn't 25,
Fair.
26-year-old Patrick Mahomes. This is 30-year-old Patrick Mahomes that's coming off an ACL, which I think does change things with your need to get better in the running game
Absolutely.
and the passing game going forward. Didn't get to some of these this latest trends. We'll do that when we come back.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Prostate cancer. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed in their lifetime, but early detection can save lives. That's where KCUC comes in. They're the premier center for urology and oncology, with over 50 elite providers and more than 20 locations across the metro. KCUC makes it easy to get screened fast in the comfort of an office, not a hospital. Schedule your screening today at kcuc.com. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. kcuc.com. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-535-1582. 800-535-1582. Again, that's 800-535-1582.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome back, Jay Binkley, Julio Sanchez. Julio, this weather's crazy, man. I got the Weather Channel right now watching Bloomington, Indiana, Indianapolis to Indiana in the red area. I'm seeing some of these images from Bloomington. I mean, this weather's crazy. They're getting a bunch of snow this weekend on the East Coast, and We're getting a little bit cooler here. There's no precipitation, but, well, I don't know. Maybe there is. I haven't watched the weather tonight. I don't know what we're going to get. But, yeah, the tornado season is striking early. Man, it's terrible, man, what's going on there.
Yeah, I had no idea
Terrible.
till you said something. I no idea. That's shocking, actually.
It's terrible.
Sad.
So, man, it's
A lot of damage.
Yeah, a lot of damage. Terrible there. So, you got on the Weather Channel now. They're showing all these storms, crazy storms. Still one of those times of year where you have all this weird stuff. So, the trends, Julio, where I go top 25, the freshest ones, because it's just the ones that are released today from the Fox News or sports and the ESPN Sports, NFL.com, whoever, and see what positions they have drafted. Only 20 today because they did 25 last night. But so there was just fresh 20 today. Usually I go 25. Here's the breakdown. Keep in mind, Julio, last time I did this, out of 25, this was yesterday, 14 was the running back. 14 out of the 25 running back. 2 edge, 2 wide receiver. There wasn't very many. Today it's changed. Running back out of 20, the latest 20, 2. And this is Athlon Sports and all this, 2. Wide receiver now 6. Haven't seen the wide receiver out to reach running back.
What's changed, man?
Edge 1.
What's changed?
Linebacker 1. Linebacker was Sonny Styles. Obviously, I think people are looking at it and saying, well, the Chiefs might need a wide receiver, and the combine is going to change things too. And the bad news about the combine is if Carnell Tate goes out and has a great combine, same with Mekhi Lemon, and the chances of them going before 9th is gone.
Yep.
I mean, there's a chance that Ruben Bain and everybody that they has kind of been in the wheelhouse, or Jeremiah Love, any of them, you're sitting there at 9, and the problem is you have one quarterback going in front of the Chiefs, Fernando Mendoza, instead of 2, taking up spots. So everything changes. I mean, we started seeing changes after the Senior Bowl and Shrine Bowl, even though a lot of the top 10 obviously aren't in those games. That's more for the later round guys, second-round guys, late first-round guys. They go to those postseason bowl games. But the combine, things change a lot. But then when free agency hits, that'll change a ton, right? All these Jeremiah Love to the Chiefs mocks that we've seen, if they go out and sign, let's say they go out and make a deal and get Breece Hall. Or what if they get Rico Dowdle? What if they go out and get Tyler Algier?
I was going to say, give me Algier. That's my.
I think if you get Algier or Rico, you're still drafting a running back at that point.
Yep.
You may go slower on it.
Which is what they should
get
do.
Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Which is different. But, of course, all these are going to change with that. But we saw a lot more receivers. And it was 2 for Tate, 2 for Mekhi Lemon, and 2 for Jordan Tyson. I haven't included Charles Davis's mock in here from Fox Sports. He went Ruben Bain. But Jordan Tyson was a hot name. Hey, listen, Jordan Tyson's got the size. He's elite speed, elite wide receiver. His problem is he's only played 12 games the last 2 years. Jordan Tyson is tough when he plays. Like, he doesn't take himself out of games. His problem is with the ACL, the collarbone injury he had to have surgery on, and his availability is in question. I don't think the Chiefs are in a situation to draft anybody with availability concerns. He's played 9 games his first year. This is Jordan Tyson. 3 is next year, only 3 games. 12 the following year, then 9. So he's at 20. So he only played 9 games this past year, but he's dealing with injuries, the hamstring. This year you deal with a lot of injuries, but still it's about 48% of the games that he's played in. That just kind of scares you. I know it's got the size that you want, but availability, that part just kind of scares you because they need someone that's going to play.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes you got to take chances on that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible talent, but that's
what's the ceiling?
Position of they need.
What's the ceiling?
Like, how good are we going to be talking?
Correct.
Like Mekhi Lemon, I get it. He's 5'11", but he does play bigger. And if you want to say that, but if you go back and watch his game film, and he was able to climb, man. He only dropped 3 passes in the last 175. Dude
That's
catches
what I like.
Everything.
The sure hands.
Carnell Tate, 6'3". He catches everything. He's got a huge catch radius. He and Lemon run the best routes in the draft.
Tate is by far, I think, the best wide receiver, right? But
he and Lemon,
he's not.
Tate's got the size more.
Yeah. He's also not the stereotypical Andy Reid type of wide receiver, so wouldn't get your hopes up.
Might have to go away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
And O'Shea, when he was in New England, of course, he had Julian Edelman, smaller wide receiver, do a ton of damage for them. But, the tight end position, he had Gronk there. bring in Randy Moss, Wes Welker. They never won rings with them, but they had a hell of an offense when they had those guys there. But anyway, I've just seen a shift today, Julio. I thought that was interesting. I think you're going to continue to see shifts with this because the whole draft edge, not saying they don't need to. I think they need to within their first 2 picks. I mean, it is wide receiver, edge, running back.
Just depends on how the board falls, man. That's the beauty of the draft, isn't it?
It does, but I'm 100% for it. Maybe just not right at pick 9 because of what they need on offense.
We differ on that. I know. We differ on that.
Well, it's just I just look at it and say you got to play the who's going to play. You got to think because the St. Joe Chiefs have been different than the regular Chiefs because they look good when they have Rice and Brown and Worthy going out and doing their 70-yard catches and everything in St. Joe. Then the regular season happens and they're not playing.
I know. I don't trust, again, and I think we had this conversation. I don't trust necessarily, and this ties back to our earlier conversation, the ability for us to necessarily, if we draft a receiver at 9, you have to play him.
And you have to like him.
You have to play him.
And you have to like him.
Yeah.
They have to be your type.
The system, and
like,
I don't know.
Don't force it. Don't force it.
Yeah. It just makes me nervous, man.
To be honest with you, they'd probably be better off trading back if you found a trade partner to do it. But you don't want to do it because you got pick 9.
That's the ideal situation, back into the mid-teens.
Yeah. But you suck so bad and you get that 9th pick. So, I mean, it's tough to waste that.
Well earned.
But the 27 draft, that's the one. That's going to be a better draft than decades. That's the one. That's the one. Well, CBS went ahead and put NFL win totals out for next season. See if we agree with this, because it's not official yet because we don't know the schedule yet. You know who you're going to play, but you don't know when. It's a primetime game or not, so we don't know 100% know what you're going to do. So the books really don't have that out there, but they took a look at who the teams are going to play on their schedule, and they came out with NFL win totals for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll do that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Hi there, I'm Charlie. And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC. If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help. Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting. Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team. He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days. He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises. Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision. Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 2025-11121.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. With a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Sex, intimacy, love. These 3 things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Max Minute on Twitter and Instagram every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back, 8 o'clock hour. Jay Binkley, Julio Sanchez. Guess what you have tomorrow, Julio, right here on 96.5. Guess what you have tomorrow?
What's that?
Royals. Rangers.
Oh, it starts, huh?
2:05. You can hear it right here. Spring training begins tomorrow. Right here. You can hear it. 96.5 The Fan, 2 o'clock.
I bet CDOT and Rob have to love baseball season. I mean,
it's here.
Majority of the time, those guys just, at least.
Well, there's not all the games. There's some of them.
Once a week, those guys get a free day off,
It's one of those deals, man. Everybody's looking forward to Royals baseball. Then we get the WBC.
I'm excited.
Oh, Vern's going crazy, man. Vern loves it.
Well,
it's Vern time, man.
There's a lot of high expectations going into this season, right? I mean, I haven't been this excited, I think, for the Royals in quite a few years.
That Keggs interview he had was really, really good.
Yeah, that was spectacular. It'll be on the podcast here shortly, so check it out.
It was good stuff. But Royals and Rangers tomorrow. Or who are you expecting to have a Bubich-like year? I asked Vern that the other night. Like, a guy that was on this roster all of a sudden was like so much better than anybody thought. I mean, you knew he's like had that ability in him, but then he goes out and makes the All-Star team. Of course, the injury derailed him at the end of the year there. But that was, I thought that was a nice surprise. Obviously, Noah Cameron, a huge surprise for the Kansas City Royals.
I was going to say, let's just have Noah Cameron kind of continue what he brought last season, and I'll be thrilled with that.
Keep the pitching rolling?
Yeah.
Because it has now backed itself up after what it did 2 years ago. It backed itself up last year, and that's even dealing with all the injuries they had. I'm hoping Carter Jensen on offense. I mean, obviously we know how good Bobby's going to be. Bobby's going to be challenging for MVP again. Vinny Pasquantino is becoming a 100-rib guy.
I hope Kaggs takes a big step forward.
Kaggs takes
yeah. That would be
him and Carter Jensen,
nice.
man. I'd really like to see what he can do, man. Being a hometown kid like that, I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Should be, hopefully.
You got hometown
Fingers
kids all
crossed.
over the place. Noah Cameron. Like Carter Jensen's truly, I mean, I know Noah Cameron's St. Joe, which is real close, but Carter's actually from here, Kansas City. So.
I love seeing the local talent, man, right?
I do too. As far as Super Bowl odds on DraftKings now, Seattle's got the highest Super Bowl or the best Super Bowl odds, plus 850. Rams are the same. They're tied with a plus 850. Bills a plus 1,000. Ravens plus 1,200. Philly plus 1,400. And then there's the Chiefs tied with Philly at plus 1,400. Those are real odds that you can bet on now if you want to get a part of it. We all know it's all going to be changed around. But CBS took a look at who they're playing, their common opponents, the opponents that because there is that commonality you have with the same division, and then, of course, the same division in the NFC that you play. Each team plays the same team. Then there's those three different teams. Like you go out and play somebody from the NFC that you played 2 years ago for that, quote, 17th game that you have. But the win total for the Chiefs is 10.5 games. The Chargers, they put at 10.5 as well. The Chiefs are the favorite to win the AFC West. Denver, over-under on wins, 9.5. Vegas, 5.5. Would you take the over in every single one of these, or would you still say the Raiders? I mean, the Raiders at some point have to win 6, right? Because can Kubiak take a rookie quarterback and win at least 6?
Not in this. No, this AFC West is tough, man. I would say no.
Denver 9.5. Is that disrespectful to them and what they've been doing? But they did have Like the Chiefs.
Yeah,
the
I
ball
was gonna
bounced their
say.
way 2 years ago, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, that's what Denver did last year.
Get that 2
the
years
ball
in a row?
bounced their way.
I don't think so.
So Denver
That's
at
fair.
9.5. That's the 10.5 for the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to be still very good.
Yeah, they'll
I think
take
they're
a step
gonna-
forward. That offensive line, I mean, they'll take a step forward. I think.
Slater was out for the whole year.
Yeah.
Joe Alt was hurt twice last year and ended up missing most of the year. But the uncommon opponents for the Chiefs are the Cincinnati, Indy, and Atlanta. So the Chargers, though, the uncommon opponents they have, though, Baltimore, Houston, and Tampa Bay. So nice little three mixture games there with the Chargers and the Chiefs going for that. So
I like it. I like it.
But somebody's gonna shine, and you weren't expecting to see it. That's why the whole thing. I mean, I know you look at New England's schedule and how bad it was this year because it was really bad. But I mean, there's also things that go into it too. You had to face Jarrett Stidham to go to the AFC title game. But at least one team has won its division after missing the playoffs entirely in 54 of the last 57 seasons. It's pretty good odds. Since the AFL-NFL merger in 1970. So it's tough to look at the year before, and I know we all look at the schedules and when they come out, W's and L's by the different teams, but there's a lot of people probably looking at the Chiefs going, ooh, man, they had 6 wins. The Colts, I mean, they finished like crap, but at the beginning of the year, they were 7-1. So playing them early on, you're saying, the Colts are not very good, but, beat them. But some team, New England, that's the 4-win team, turned around and went to the Super Bowl. Seattle didn't even make the playoffs.
I
They
don't know
won
if
the
I'd
Super
use
Bowl.
New England as the.
I'm just saying
as a
there's
good
these
example.
teams that you don't think are going to be great. I'm sure Buffalo saw New England playing at their place, and they put W's next to it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And the Patriots came in and won that game.
How do I? Yeah. It's fair.
I don't know. I mean, are you feeling strong for the Seahawks repeating in the NFC? I think the Rams are going to have something to say with that. I think the Rams desperately needed home field over the Seahawks, not have to play that fan base because I'll give the Seahawks credit. That is a tough place to play.
It is, and with the 49ers too, I think again they were decimated. What else is new? Decimated by injuries. But I think if they can have half the amount of injuries they had this past year, that's a tough division too, man.
With San
Chances
Francisco,
are
the Rams, and the Seahawks
don't repeat.
Can Kyle Shanahan get magic again? Don't forget, the Niners have 2 international games this year, playing in Australia and Mexico City, so twice.
That's a tough thing, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's what they said about the Chiefs' schedule. That was part of the reason it was tough.
And then you have to wonder who's going to catch the ball because they've dealt with so many injuries. They're going to lose Juwan Jennings. Brandon Ayuk's not playing
gone,
for him again. He's not.
Hey,
And
you wanna
Christian
see Ayuk
McCaffrey. And eventually these running backs do fall. I know last year he once again almost made a run for 1,000. He's one of 3 humans to run for 1,000 and catch for 1,000, but he almost did it twice because he only ended up with 924 receiving, had over 1,000 yards rushing. So can he consistently be good every year without getting injured? Exactly.
This is what's going to happen in fantasy football. He's going to be a top 3
Kittle's
draft.
always
and he's
getting hurt.
Yeah,
Kittle's great, but he's always getting hurt.
always hurt. But what do you think about Ayuk in the Chiefs uniform? Get him on the cheap. No
availability, man.
Yeah, I know.
Availability, man. Got to go availability.
Be a steal of a deal.
Are you buying Buffalo again? Are they still going to be viable with the new head coach
No.
now, with
It's not
Josh
even
Allen still being there?
It's a new head coach, but is he really? I mean,
they screwed it up last year. I mean, you didn't have Mahomes,
I
Lamar
don't see much
Jackson, Joe
changing for
Burrow.
them.
I mean, you had to deal with Drake May or whatever. That was the year for them to do it.
they have their own salary cap issues. I don't know, man. I don't see much changing for them. I think that window is slowly but surely closing, at least right now.
Who do you feel, if I was going to ask you, who you would put money on next 4 years, Seattle or New England, the Super Bowl teams?
New England.
Really?
Yeah. I mean that.
Miami's terrible in that division. You got to look at Jets are always going to suck. Buffalo will be a good competition for New England. The NFC West very tough. Obviously, you have Seattle, you have Frisco, and you get the Rams. And who knows about the Cardinals? They're just there. Division is better in the NFC, but I think the quality of quarterbacks in the NFC is not because Stafford with the Rams. Like, Stafford's probably done after this year. Like, it was a surprise for him to come back, which he said he's going to come back for next year. But that's probably it.
Well, and I say New England only because if you're saying over the next 3 or 4 years, Drake May's still going to be on his rookie contract. They can afford to play. They have a lot more toys that a lot more cap space they can play with versus Seattle, who is paying Sam Darnold, who I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. Still, he's a good quarterback. I think at this point, right, we can solidify the fact that he's a top 15. Would you put him in top 10 quarterback-ish? That's tough to do, but he's definitely top 15. But again, I mean, he carries a pretty big salary cap hit, big enough that I'd lean New England still.
And the tough thing, too, is the quarterback situation.
Yeah.
Like Seattle, Sam Darnold was their missing piece. And keep this in mind, Sam Darnold went to the season having a good year in Minnesota with O'Connell, had a good rebound season, but he fell apart in the postseason. So he was carrying that with him, to Seattle. But he turned it around and did that. But teams are going to be looking for that next Sam Darnold, like a Mac Jones. Mac Jones that played very well for Frisco when he was there for Purdy, but he's not a free agent. He's still under contract.
Someone will trade for him.
Someone will trade for him. I do believe
he's too hot of a commodity, and he had too good of a year last year for him to be a backup again this year.
I believe that's going to be the guy that everybody thinks is the next Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
If they're banking on it. Because the draft, you're not getting somebody, man.
No.
Mendoza's going to the Raiders. You know how it's going to be.
After that, it's a crapshoot.
Ty Simpson, Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, it is a crapshoot to build your team around quarterbacks in the draft. Then you look at some of the free agents, like a Malik Willis. Yeah, he's got a lot of potential. But he's shown it.
Do you want to build your franchise around?
No.
He's been in the league long enough that I think we could say he's not a franchise quarterback.
I just think there's going to be a real quarterback problem. Those teams like Kansas City,
sounds like a Jets
Cincinnati, Baltimore, New England, Buffalo, Rams, Seahawks, obviously.
Do you put the Rams? I know Stafford just won MVP. I know, but man, he's getting up there in age, and
one more good year.
He's got one. I think you're right. One more good year,
and he's got Puka to throw to 129 times.
Yeah. Devontae too. Look, I thought the Chiefs should have signed Devontae. I thought that was a mistake, but
hell, I wanted Keenan Allen.
What do I know? I wanted Devontae, but I think he was a little too rich for our blood.
I just think the quarterback situation makes it a lot tougher for these teams. Like Seattle did strike gold because they got Sam Darnold. Because if they didn't have Darnold, they'd been screwed.
Oh yeah,
they would have been
100%.
screwed. Like that team wouldn't have won the Super Bowl this year. Like I think the quarterback situation with the free agent class, because everybody's looking. People are looking for the next Daniel Jones,
He won that NFC Championship game. They wouldn't have won that game against the Rams.
Well, people kind of want that Daniel Jones magic, too, that he gave the Colts.
I don't know that Daniel Jones is that quarterback.
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. I never bought into him. I took a lot of criticism on the text line because I wasn't buying into what he was doing because before he came to Kansas City, he had 7 turnovers the 2 games before that.
I don't know.
And they believed in him because they traded 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, even though he's a free agent, even though they're going to back the Brinks truck up for him. Because they're buying into it.
Silly.
But again, Daniel Jones was going to be the Sam Darnold, but he wasn't. But again, these teams are all starved for quarterbacks, and you got to have that guy if you're going to be a player in the NFL to get to the Super Bowl. I just want to know where they're going to get it because I think it's going to be the same cast of characters. These teams, like the Bills, like the Chiefs, if Cincinnati can figure out their defense, that team will go places.
And that's not looking too good going into this next year either.
And that was the thing with the Colts. They had Lou Anarumo, who was with the Bengals that always gave the Chiefs problems.
And I like Lou. I liked him. I thought he might have been a decent head coach.
I always thought that was the biggest thorn to the Chiefs when the Colts came here. It wasn't Jonathan Taylor.
Very well against the Chiefs.
It wasn't Daniel Jones. It wasn't any of that. It was Lou.
I thought he made one of the best. Look, that Bengals defense has been awful for years, and he did more with less, I think, than most other defensive coordinators in the NFL. That's just me.
I just think the quarterback can be a real issue going forward in the NFL. Lance Zierlein coming up in about 14 minutes or so, but I'll react to some of your questions on the Chiefs on the text line, 913-586-7965 for a few minutes before we bring Lance on.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Hi there, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC.
If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help.
Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting.
Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team.
He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days.
He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises.
Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision.
Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
You already listen to 96.5 The Fan, but are you following us? Our Instagram is loaded with show clips, breaking news, mock drafts, and content you can't get on the air, like Thy Royal Decree and Chiefs Take Tuesday. Go to Instagram, search for The Fan 965, and hit that follow button. If you don't do this immediately, Dusty has threatened to do a photo shoot in a bathing suit. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back, Jay Binkley, Julio Sanchez, Lance Zierlein, NFL.com comes up 7:30. Those 319 prospects that he's done for NFL.com. Good stuff there. The Chiefs' additional game next year, that 17th game where they go 2 years in the past, it's the NFC South. So that's Atlanta for the Chiefs next year. Because their home games are the Broncos, the Raiders, the Chargers, of course, the Patriots, the Jets, the Cards. There's some delicious games on there, man. The Cardinals, the Jets at home.
Can I just say the Chiefs? Looking at the Chiefs' schedule again, we don't know necessarily the schedule itself.
Some teams are good, some teams suck. You never know.
But that does not seem like a third place in your division schedule.
Get the Niners at home, the Colts again. The away games will be Denver, Raiders, Chargers, of course. Buffalo, they always play in Buffalo during the regular season. And the Buffalo will probably win, and they'll throw parades and. Everybody be talking about how great the Bills are.
I think they're over that at this point after this last season.
We'll see what happens. We'll see. I don't think they're ever done with that new stadium there. Another away game, Dolphins, Rams, Seahawks, Bengals, and Falcons. The Chiefs could be that opening game versus Seahawks.
It's a fairly tough schedule, man. It really is. I thought it was going to be easier. It does not seem that way.
9 away games, 8 home games for the Chiefs next year. But again, you can't really look at it because of, like I said, when quarterbacks go down for certain teams, their team goes in the tank. We saw teams look bad at the beginning of the year, great at the end of the year. New England started off 1-2. They lost to the Raiders.
I was going to say the Raiders beat New England first game of the season. That's correct.
In New England. One team went to the Super Bowl, the other team's picking first in the draft. You can't get a bigger difference than that.
I know.
Or you could, because New England could have won it all, but they didn't. It is kind of, them having that kind of reset button where they could think about the different coaches they wanted to add back to their staff, and you can spend more time now with the head coaches as far as the draft prospects and everything. But, man, that just seemed weird. We're getting spoiled, too, because we went 22 years without winning a playoff game, so I get it. Going to the Super Bowl 5 of the last 7 years, that's been a thrill. But, man, that just seemed kind of weird.
Well, I feel like
with the Patriots and the Seahawks, it felt weird.
It did. It did. But again, I enjoyed not necessarily having a dog in the fight. I would have loved it, but it was kind of nice to sit back and watch. But I will say, I feel like we've gotten the shaft a little bit here. This was a bad season for us to have a bad season when it comes to the draft, when it comes to what potentially the schedule is looking like. I feel like for having as bad of a record as we've had, we haven't really got a lot of the perks that typically come with that crappy of a season.
I remember 2013 when they had the number 1 pick in the draft, and
so I said it's Eric Fisher all over again, man.
It was Fisher and Jokel. That was the biggest argument back then. Remember, and obviously they made the right choice on that.
It's a crappy draft, though.
I will say this though: Lane Johnson went 4th to the Eagles. He's still playing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, it's picking 9th, but certainly that was kind of fun. I remember, I'll never forget going to the draft party. We covered it out there, right? And Fanning was doing something with TV5. We did something. It was weird because they had a big draft party, but it was over after the first pick. Literally, they had that, then it just cleared out. Yeah. At least when they're picking towards the end, because we've been doing it at the Liberty Landing the last couple of years. Our draft, the first night of the draft, we did a live broadcast down there. But we've had everybody, staying and waiting, until the end. I'm curious what people are going to do when they pick 9th. Will they have that dream that, they're going to trade back and get back into the first round? Because that could happen. That is a possibility.
That's what
out
I'm
there.
thinking.
But you don't want everybody to leave the draft party after pick 9.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're going to trade back. That's what's going to happen.
Are people going to be excited to go up to St. Joe and see that new toy?
It depends on what that new toy is.
Well, training camps
Either way,
in St.
I
Joe.
think they will, though.
You know damn well that thing's going to Olathe, don't you? As soon as
you think so?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
With that new practice facility and everything out there, Reed likes to go away. Reed likes to go away, but you're talking not till, 2031? He'll be retired by then.
Yeah. No, it's going to get moved.
And training camp's always one of the fun things to do. That's always a bucket list item. Go up and watch some training camp. Yeah, they charge a little bit more now. Some days are $5 or whatever, but still, that's very limited.
Yeah,
it's some days are free, but $5. That's still, we're talking high school.
That's
we're talking better than high school pricing.
Yeah.
For NFL teams, so that's always kind of fun. I don't know, man. I've always enjoyed it. I think we're getting to a midnight madness, though.
Yeah.
I think with all the teams, I know the teams that play on Thursday nights, they get that week early of practice. But I think that midnight madness starts with NFL teams. I've always hoped. Like they did in college basketball, and I worked there for a while, but I want to see it in the NFL. Anyway, we'll take a time when we come back. Lance Zierlein, the master of knowing prospects that does it for NFL.com. Dude knows everything about the draft. He comes on at 8:30.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Who knew dressing up for a Halloween ball would change my life forever? Now I get to celebrate with the best fans and everything Kansas City. Oh, yeah! My journey also led me to Renner Garage Door, Casey's go-to team for garage door repair, replacement, and service since 1956. Renner features an MVP lineup from Delden, Amar, and Liftmaster.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
Legendary doesn't happen by chance. It happens because it's what BetMGM does. Sign up for BetMGM using bonus code DUSTY and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. Get into hockey, basketball, your favorite winter sports with same-game parlays. Live betting, earn BetMGM reward points on every bet. Take advantage of football offers found nowhere else, like a second chance on a first touchdown bet, and keep an eye out for rewards dropping in your account throughout the season. Sign up again with bonus code DUSTY and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Bonus bets that expire in 1 to 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show, February 27th through March 1st at the Overland Park Convention Center. Get front door bonuses like 5 Great Life golf rounds, Golf to Mules National, free balls, sim time with Barry's Golf and Groove, and Birdie's Indoor Golf. And get an Advent Health Championship ticket, all while they last. Saturday the 28th is Women's Day, presented by Elevated Home Team and Keller Williams Realty Partners. Test drive Callaway, Mizuno, Cleveland, and more with Golf MD. See the new RMI carts. Play the Edwards Jones Straight Drive, Genesis of Kansas City Long Putt, and the Midwest Golf Innovation Simulator. Get lessons with Imperial Golf. Roll it with Extreme Green and Evolved putters. Relax in Yingling Flight's 19th hole. Savor samples from Tito's Vodka and Booth Creek Wagyu. All at the Golf Show, February 27th through March 1st at the OP Convention Center. Thanks to WHB, Lake of the Ozarks Golf Trail, Visit Mississippi, Old Kinderhook, and Mulligan's Country Club. Kids under 12 are free. Tickets at KansasCityGolfShow.com.
40,000 people. That's not a crowd. It's a small city. It's also the number of people choosing pain relief without surgery. 40,000 people who said, stop, before you replace my knee or my hip. Before I put my life on hold, there has to be another way. And they found it at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in cellular level treatments that revitalize joint tissue naturally. Patients who thought surgery was the only answer are getting their lives back thanks to QC Kinetics advanced regenerative treatments. Surgery isn't always the answer. QC Kinetics uses safe, natural treatments to activate your body's healing power with zero downtime. Get started now to ease inflammation and slow the progression of osteoarthritis. Call them today because 40,000 people can't be wrong. Before you say yes to surgery, do your research and call my friends at QC Kinetics. The consultation's free. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Hey, welcome back, Jay Binkley. Welcome back, 96.5 The Fan. Don't forget the Royals tomorrow afternoon you can listen to. Pleased to be joined, though, by Lance Zierlein, NFL Network analyst. NFL Network providing live coverage of the 2026 NFL Scouting Combine with live drills Thursday, February 26th through Sunday, March 1st. And I know Kansas City fans will be dialed into that because you're picking number 9 with a lot of different things on the plate for Chiefs fans. Lance, always a pleasure to talk to you when we do this during the year. Much appreciated, my friend.
Yeah, no problem.
Lance, one thing we've been doing, we started a draft podcast back when I was here in Kansas City, and we've just kept it going. We do it each and every week, so we watch these prospects, and I can't imagine what you're going through with the 319 prospects going to the combine, and you're grading them all. Your bios are great. The strengths, the weaknesses. I can't imagine how much work goes into that.
Well, I'll give you an idea. Since Monday, I've now put in 56 hours of work. So
wow.
Yeah, and I've got I got 6 to do every single day. So I've been working 7 days a week for the last, I guess, the last 3.5 weeks, and so about 13 hours a day. So it's because I also do a radio show. So
it's a ton of stuff. I've been waiting. I've been looking every night. I read all your bios. I'm waiting for Jacoby Thomas, that safety out of Miami, because he intrigues me for a late round guy with the Chiefs. But speaking of the Chiefs, we'll start there. I know your first mock came out at the beginning of February. You had Reuben Bain to the Kansas City Chiefs, and obviously that's been a popular name in Kansas City. Matter of fact, Lance, I look at 25 different mocks each and every show when the new ones come out. I'm just more curious about what positional group they want for the Chiefs or the player. Meaning, I'll be honest with you, Lance. Last night I did this 25 mocks of the freshest ones that came out. And it includes like all the NFL.com ones, Fox Sports, ESPN, all those. 14 of the 25 were Jeremiah Love. And I was like, I don't see him going that direction at 9. Wide receiver was very thin. Did it today. 6 wide receivers now, only 2 running backs out of the top 20. And obviously the Rashee Rice news does change things because it's a situation the Chiefs, I mean, if there is time where Rice isn't on the field and you got Travis Kelce, will he or will he not come back? It's still a question. They're extremely thin at wide receiver. Where are you sitting right now with the Chiefs in the latest situations?
Well, I think that you have to take an overview of the entire draft. And so you say, how deep is it at rush? And the rush is actually deep beyond the first round. How deep is it at wide receiver? It lightens up a little bit after the first round. So that could have an impact on how you view the first round as the totality of the positions of need that you have, what direction, you want to go in as far as that's concerned. I mean, obviously there's more needs than that for the Chiefs. So
sure,
you just want to go get a good football player. But I do think that, in terms of early in the draft, I think if you want to go find rush, you can do that either early, where the Chiefs are drafting, or you can also trade back and still find a guy who can rush, like an Akeem Mesidor, who you can get later. Probably in the 20s, he's an older player though, so obviously, that may be a situation where you're one contract, maybe 1.5 contract, 7 years, 8 years at most, and you're probably on to somebody new. So, that could have an impact. I think most teams, what you'll find is the age thing is not as big a deal for. It's the progression of their talent, which is a bigger deal. Like, is a guy capped out? Does a guy have something still left? You had Simmons last year who was drafted. There's still a lot of upside there. Mesidor, is he going to get a lot better from Miami? Maybe not. I mean, this may be kind of who he is, which is great. I mean, he's really, he's a talented rusher. But I think what Brett Veach and Andy have to do is, I think, you really have to decide, do you want somebody now who's a now player, or do you want someone who you're building and you're not worried about the now? Because are you still in now mode? It feels like it with the Chiefs a little bit. And if that's the case, it may have an impact on the type of player that you draft. Me personally, I think that there's, Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson. Those are 3 early wide receivers you could look at. It's too early for Tyson there. I think it's on the early side for Lemon, but Lemon would be a phenomenal fit with the Chiefs in terms of, I think, how he would mesh with Patrick Mahomes. And Tate would be almost a no-brainer to me. I mean, if Tate happened to be on the board, I'd be all over that.
Sure.
Now, in terms of the rush, Bain would be my first choice. He feels like a Chief, the type of guy that the Chiefs like to target from a rush standpoint. But as I mentioned, there are rushers and different types of rushers, either big, edge, strong, quick. There's a wide variety of rushers throughout the first round.
Yeah, I really like Tate and Lemon, to be honest with you. There's a couple traits I really like of those guys. One, they catch everything. They've got great hands and they run great routes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 3 drops in the last 175 targets to Lemon. That's important to the Chiefs, guys that can catch the football. Let me ask you this, Lance, because I think there's 2 questions that are good around draft time. One goes to GMs, and it's the only question that they'd probably answer honestly. Most of them is, how many first-round grades do you have on players? Like, is it 12? Is it 15? It's 18. Kind of want to know that, because the rest of them basically, glorified second-rounders at that point. So I want to know how many guys have first-round grades from teams. But with you, I'll ask you this. So they're picking 9 and 40. So if you go wide receiver at 9 and you decide to go edge at 40, or do you go edge at 9, wide receiver at 40? So basically, what do you consider? And obviously, you said edge is pretty deep, and of course, a lot of draft analysts do talk about the Derek Moores, the world, the Zion Youngs, and guys that may be sitting there at 40. But what do you value more at 9? So if you miss on wide receiver, you don't go wide receiver because other people have made a run on receivers within the first 9 picks. Do you go edge? Do you trust wide receiver at 40, or would you rather go wide receiver at 9 and edge at 40?
Ooh, that's a good question. And that's why you really have to get a good feel for exactly. I'm looking at my board right now, so give me 1 second because I want to give you a good, honest answer on that.
Yeah.
I think that, when you look at in terms of how you like to play this, you usually are going to find it's really going to be about finding the greatest amount of impact. The greatest amount of impact, I think, with the combination that you're looking for. So obviously, it's like a math equation that you're that you want to take a look at there. I'm just looking at my list and how I personally rank these guys. I mean, I think you almost the way the draft is going to play out. I almost think you need to maneuver around a little bit to get it the way you want for those types of positions. Cassius Howell could be available with that 40th pick from Texas A&M. He's not very long.
Kansas City
guy. Got short arms. Yeah, exactly. And he's got kind of shorter arms. He's an edge bender, not real strong against the run. So he's a little bit of a one-way player right now. I think that's a little bit of the problem. Chris Brazzell, I don't know that he's a good Chiefs fit as a wide receiver in that 40 pick because I'm looking right now at the 40 pick. We can figure out 9.
Yeah.
I want to figure out what 40 is going to look like.
Yeah, what's better at 40, the receivers or the edge? That's the question.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now, and it appears to be, I would say probably wide receiver, just by a little bit, because I think the edge rushers are going to get pushed up into that first round, and then there's going to be a little bit of a delay as you have linebackers. You'll probably have some linebackers come in. You'll have Jadarian Price, the second running back, will probably slot in early in the second. I think there's going to be a run on defensive tackles toward the back half of the first and into the first 10 picks of the second round. So I think that's where a defensive tackle run and probably safety. So I think defensive tackle and safety and maybe a linebacker is what you're going to see earlier in the spot where you're talking about. So I'm not sure wide receiver or edge. You might want to look at a different – if you stay there, you actually might be looking at a different position. You don't want to get married to position if you're the Chiefs or any other team, because then you end up drafting a need instead of drafting a better football player.
Sure.
And you guys would know better than I would right now in terms of what the Chiefs' needs are. And, of course, then some of it may explode come free agency in terms of, plug and play for different teams. So you tell me, what's a third option? What's the next option?
In our mocks that we've done like throughout the season and then towards the end of the season, it's been wide receiver, it's been edge, and it's been running back because they clearly need to get better in all those positions.
Well,
they desperately need them.
I love Jadarian Price.
Do you like Price a lot better?
Yeah, well, Price is he's a better pure running back than Love in terms of vision, in terms of feel for the run lane, in terms of instincts. All of that is actually Price on tape. But Love hits home runs. Love has tremendous third down talent. He can match up out of the backfield, mismatch people. He can run routes from the slot. He can protect passer. Like, he's a 3-down home run hitting potential type player with electric top-end speed. What Jadarian Price is more like a Javonte Williams type coming out of North Carolina, which, I like Javonte a lot when he was coming out of North Carolina. But Price, to me, is a runner who would really be a plug-and-play, ready-to-roll Kansas City Chief at 40 if he were there. And he might be there, like I said, because I do think there will be a run on some defensive tackles. So that might be the type of player you're looking at there. And then you take a look at rush potentially or wide receiver with the next pick.
And one thing, they have picked 74 too, so it's clearly the running back. But Price, you're right. And I look at some of these games, like against the Miami Hurricanes, Jeremiah Love had 33 yards, 3.3 a carry. Price actually had more yards rushing against the Miami Hurricanes than Jeremiah Love did from that backfield. But I was just kind of looking at the receivers. Obviously, 2004 and 2024, there were 7 first-round receivers. I don't think we get to that point this year in this draft. I want to ask you this, Lance, as far as we're talking to Lance Zerline from NFL Network analyst, as far as Caleb Downs, that was a name, and clearly you look at the skill set and the talent, he might be the best guy in the first round. Obviously, safety is a position that the Chiefs will need. I don't know if they need one at 9. He is a game changer. And I know people throw out Kyle Hamilton and names like that, but Kyle Hamilton's 6'4", 220, Downs is 6'205". Right. But you can do a lot of different things with him. I think Steve Spagnuolo would have a heyday with the Caleb Downs. Just your opinion on Caleb Downs, and is he the best player in your opinion? One of the best players in this first round?
Yeah, I think he's one of the best players. I think when it comes to my grades, it's kind of nuanced, because my grades, like I've got Arvell Reese with the highest grade of any player, but a lot of that has to do with his versatility,
yeah, I understand
his
that.
traits, his upside. So I'm projecting an upside. I'm projecting traits. Kyle Hamilton to me was a different animal. I had him as a top-rated player in the draft, just over Aiden Hutchinson. So I was very, very high on Kyle. He had elite traits. I thought he ID'd the football really well, could play in a lot of different spots, and I thought he had a unique impact on the game. I think Caleb Downs has a unique impact as well. I think the one concern for me is, you mentioned the height. I don't think he's going to be very long. I'm not sure he's going to run a 40. Although it's been said that his numbers from a catapult standpoint, the wearable measurables, that he has pretty good time. But the one thing that concerns me a little bit with Downs in terms of how you're going to use him is he's just kind of an overhang nickel over there with Ohio State. And he has, it's where he has the biggest impact, is he's always around the line of scrimmage. He is a ferocious hitter. What he does is he has culture-changing physicality and mentality. He's a guy that can come into the Chiefs room, for example, just using the Chiefs, and all of a sudden you got a real alpha and a chance to reignite, a run, so to speak. You want to reignite a roster. He's a guy that can reignite a roster. I saw it with Will Anderson right here in Houston. Some of those guys are just wired differently, and I think Caleb Downs is one of those guys who's really wired differently. I do think some of the versatility that people preach, he's not Derwin James in that regard. He's not big like Derwin. He's not as versatile, I don't think, and as long as Kyle Hamilton. So I don't put him in that same category. But I think the impact, I don't know that he'll have the same kind of statistical impact, but the impact he has will be on the mentality of an entire defense. And that, for me, is almost as valuable a lot of times as just chalking up stat sheets, especially if they're kind of empty stats. I want somebody who gets other people to play hard. And I think Caleb Downs is that guy.
It's one thing. I mean, it's what they did. They brought in Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. That's who helped them get that first Super Bowl. And then it was Justin Reed, after him. So they always had that guy kind of relying upon that. And I agree with the Kyle Hamilton thing, because they used him at safety, nickel, edge rusher. They used him all over the place for Baltimore. I'll leave you with
6'4" and long, and people just
he's crazy.
He's just built. He's just a completely different build.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Lane's final question. One thing we did when we were doing, obviously we do these shows all year round, but looking at the quarterback class, it looked a lot better at the beginning of the year than what you got at the end of the year, clearly. And what stinks for the Chiefs, and you're saying, why is Kansas City looking at quarterbacks? Well, it's not for the quarterback for the Chiefs, but it's what quarterbacks could be taken before the Chiefs, because that does matter. When Dante Moore decides to go back to Oregon, that took a slot away from the Chiefs, because that was going to be a quarterback that was taken, but it's another player, it's going to be taken instead. So, I mean, I look at this and, man, I'm just like, these quarterbacks, I'm loving this 27 class or whatever, but I wish there was more quarterbacks in the early rounds or early first round, because that takes slots away from the Chiefs.
No, you can wish all you want, but it sounds like you already know the answer.
Oh, I know the answer.
I mean, one of the reasons I'm so exhausted right now is because I've been watching these quarterbacks.
Have fun.
Is this brutal? I mean, I've watched Aller, Beck, Nussmeier finished him today. Woo.
Do you think Mendoza is going to be actually good for the Raiders? That's a divisional opponent.
I do, but there's a big caveat here. You have to protect him at an above average level, and you got to be able to run the football. Now, and I say that because when you watched him at Cal, he had terrible protection, and he still has pretty good poise. Like he hasn't let it rattle him. But when you have him protected, when he's able to throw and he's protected, he's got some Joe Burrow-like precision throwing the football. Neither one of those guys had a big arm coming out. They both had really good ball placement and precision. But really, when he sits in the pocket and drops back, they work a lot off of RPO. And I know that's going to be brought up that, this RPO. His least accurate throws are off of RPOs. That's the one time that he may leave it on the back hip a little bit. And it's still really accurate. Even with RPOs, he's still more accurate than most. However, when he has time to throw, he can just carve defenses up. So I do think, but he's not mobile like Joe Burrow was coming out. And once you get inside the pocket, it's over for him. There's a lot of quarterbacks who are very pocket mobile. They can escape. They can get away from the pressure. Mendoza's pretty much cooked whenever someone gets in the pocket. So that's why if you could have a really good quarterback on your hands if you have Mendoza, but if you don't protect him properly, he's just going to be a guy who has good games here and struggles there. Good games here, struggles there. Every quarterback needs protection, but he needs more protection because he's not as mobile as most.
Well, it's interesting because the Chiefs will be seeing a lot of him, obviously, with the Raiders. But Lance Zierlein, NFL Network's analyst, NFL providing live coverage of the 26 NFL Scouting Combine starts next week. Of course, live coverage February 26th through Sunday, March 1st. Lance Zierlein, love talking to you about the draft, my friend. Appreciate it. I know you're going to be cranking things out. You're doing 7 a day or whatever. You'll get to that 319.
I got 26 to go. No.
26.
Yeah, I got, 6, 9, 4. No, I got 25 to go over the next 4 days. So we're going to get it knocked out, and I'll be done. And actually, I'm not going to the Combine. My wife's running her last marathon in Tokyo, so they gave me the go ahead to go support her in her final marathon. So I'll be keeping track. Like my combine times will be coming in at about 4 a.m., but I'll probably be up looking at it because I'm sick like that.
Great stuff, Lance. Great stuff. Have fun at the marathon, and we'll talk to you again, my friend. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
There you go, Lance Zierlein right there. So I'll react to Zierlein there to kind of wrap things up. But, he likes Caleb Downs, the intangibles, but doesn't like the comparison to Kyle Hamilton. And we discuss this next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Don't let winter catch you off guard. Keep your family cozy with a $69 heating system tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. We have pros available 7 days a week to keep your system running at peak efficiency, helping prevent costly breakdowns, lower energy bills, and keep your home warm all winter long. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 2025-11121.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday. All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Ugh.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Build your team. Build it sooner. Beat your match on ZipRecruiter.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. All your roles, fill them sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
That was Lance Zierlein, NFL.com. Next week it starts, but really Thursdays where the action starts. All the interviews and stuff done before, but of course you'll usually hear from the head coach, and you'll hear from the GM as well during that time. But next Thursday, a week from tonight, a defensive line, the linebackers, and place kickers. I don't know if you're interested in watching. Well, I don't think any place kickers will run the 40. Because remember we had one quarterback run last year? People opt out of this thing like crazy. They're not doing all the events like they used to do. Defensive backs and tight ends on Friday, and that's done at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when these guys go. Then noon on Saturday would be quarterbacks. It's a good day. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. Definitely the wide receivers and running backs, something to watch at noon next Saturday. And then Sunday's the offensive line that gets going at noon. But definitely, I think wide receivers, running backs, and then, of course, defensive line and linebackers on Thursday. It'll be something fun to watch. But I think that's the question. I think there's only 2 questions, Julio. 1 to a GM, how many first-round grades do you have on somebody? And 2, which do you consider deeper, wide receiver or edge? Because something's going to be better. You just know it is. And first round, you may have 1 or 2 Pro Bowlers out of the deal, all pros. Some you won't. I mean, it's just, like I said, that 2020 first round, it's basically Aiden and Kyle. I mean, there is so many misses all the time. But if you're picking a top 10, you would hopefully get it right. Because they need to get it right.
They have to. They have to get it right. When
you're drafted in the first round all the time, all of a sudden you get a top 10 pick. Man, things change for you. All of a sudden you're looking at what they should be getting. But I can't wait. I can't wait for next week for the Combine. We'll, of course, keep you updated on what everybody's doing. Then, of course, mocks will switch. But we did see a switch. Saw more people doing wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs instead of running back. And the edges come way down as well. And, of course, with the different news for the Chiefs, they need somebody to catch the ball. So big thanks to Lance Zierlein, NFL.com, joining us. Thanks to Julio Sanchez producing the operation. Much enjoyed. All right, take care, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Listening to After Hours, brought to you by A.B. May.